Uh, Thank you, Engineer Sajita. It was very informative, and as engineers, we might not have heard and we might not have paid attention to the insight of corona virus and how it happens, how it affects our body, etc. So it's a very informative session. And in your CV, we saw how much you have done as an engineer to the society. And there were a few questions while you were presenting. Let me take those questions with you and please clarify those questions of our members. First of all, I want to ask whether you are a member of IET?
Not at the moment, no. But,
okay. So I encourage
yes.
you to become IET member, and I think Vindhya will send you all the details to become IET member.
Of course.
Right. So first question is, can the viruses enter to our body through our skin?
It's less likely because our skin is well equipped to protect our body from outside pathogens. But if you have like a cut or an opening, there's a slight possibility of getting coronavirus through your skin, but it's very less likely. It's mostly through your open cavities, your bodily fluids, your eyes and your mouth and nose.
Right. Thank you. And next question is, as new technology capable to identify the virus very fast, but why still 100% successful vaccine is not found?
Like I said, the virus is so new to the system. Like even right now we are finding out what is this virus, what are the mechanisms the virus use to infect our bodies, and how can we battle this virus effectively. And as we discussed, there are few strands of the virus going on around the world, and it's a global pandemic, and it's not just one area which is affected. We have to find out a solution we can share all around the world. So it's like we can try one vaccine for a one strand, but it's not enough. So that's why it takes a lot of time to find out a vaccine. And I would happy to say that the process is going so fast compared to the last time that we had created a virus for SARS. It took years to come up with a virus like a vaccine for SARS virus. But this time they have came up with a almost 90% successful virus within a year. So it's a huge success compared to the previous attempts of developing a virus to developing a vaccine to a virus. So it will go on, and I'm pretty sure in the first quarter of the next year there will be a promising vaccine coming out of the system.
Okay, that's good news. Next question is, the accuracy of the PCR tests are said to be 70%. Is there a technical reason behind it? Is it 70%?
Yes, there's a technical and mechanical reasons as well. So the first thing is like collecting samples. So you are collecting samples from a patient's throat, and there's a possibility of you not hitting the sweet spot. You're not hitting the area that the virus is affected. So your swab won't collect the virus, and when you're doing a PCR, the sample you don't have the virus, but there's a possibility of this person having the virus in the system, but just the sample was not able to collect it. So that's one. And the other one is the PCR mechanism, because it's a highly sophisticated biochemical reaction mechanism. And if you have like few degrees of temperature differences or few seconds of triggering time differences, you can have like a false result of this remember some weeks back, the Chinese manufacturer of this PCR came and he corrected the angle of the machine, right? So
Yeah.
so even that slight angle can give you some issues in your results. So that is the problem. So it's a very sensitive biomechanical process. You can't have, you can't give a certainty to the result of it. It's always a well educated guess. So it's,
Oh,
I think it's now it's 70% success, 30% false negative or false positive.
and you said the antigen test, that rapid antigen test is better than PCR, right? I
No,
mean,
it,
it
you
will give
can't tell.
more. Ah,
Yeah, PCR is the better test, of course, but antigen, you can use it as a screening test at the moment. So
ah,
if you have to, if you have like thousands of patients in your like testing field, and you have to isolate few of them, then you can use the antigen. But antigen is not as effective as identifying the virus as the PCR. You can
PCR.
have a antigen positive but still not having the coronavirus.
Okay, right. Understood.
But
Uh,
they are trying to refine the process. They are trying to refine the chemicals that they are using in the antigen test. If they do that, up to some extent it will go beyond the 70% accuracy of the PCR. Then they can use the antigen to uh, just like for dengue antigen test, they can use it like indefinitely to the corona test as well.
okay, understood. Next question is, according to the recent news, this virus was there in September 2019 in Italy and going around the world. Please comment.
Yes, we are still finding out actually, because as I told you earlier, that the doctors have gone until November 2019 with suspected patients in China. But we can go beyond that. Even if they can go beyond that, if they can find out antigens which has been there for, let's say, 14 months in a human system, then it's most probably there, it has been there for a few months, longer than December or January.
Okay.
But the research is still going on. We can't give a certain answer for that.
All right. Next question is, I heard that ventilators are not helping as thought earlier. Is that true?
Well, it's somewhat true, because the first we thought, okay, ventilator is the last resort. We have to use ventilators on every patient that is going acute. But it's not the case, because like I said, that some Italian doctors have done some autopsies on some deceased COVID patients, and they have found out, okay, it's not just lungs. There have been some blood clots in the brain and blood clots in the heart that have caused severe uh, myocardiac issues to finally the patient have died because of those reasons, not just the lungs. And that's one, because we don't know the full effects of the coronavirus, and we don't know, is it going to affect in the same way as to the every person who get COVID and get serious health conditions because of COVID. So now we know that ventilator is not the last option. That's true. And now we know that if we go beyond one point, if uh, we can't even use a ventilator. If the lungs are totally filled up with fluid, there's no reason of using ventilators on that diseased lung. You have to do you have to do like a heart lung machine, which will isolate the lung completely and do the blood purification using a machine. So we have to go for something like that until the patient is recovered from that acute lung disease condition. So yes, that is somewhat true. Ventilator is still the best option for a severe COVID patient, but it's not the only resort that we have to based on.
Okay. Next question is how long this virus can stay in the throat?
It really depends. It will stay on the throat as long as the virus is in your system. So that's the short answer. But it will first affect your the throat area. And then only it will go to the lung. It depends on the virus load that you get. Let's say you get one droplet of virus from another positive patient, and it will go to your throat, and it will start to multiply there at first. And then it's not like it will leave the throat and go to your lungs. The excessive virus will go to your lungs, leaving some virus in the throat as well. But the effect of the virus is severe in the lungs compared to the throat.
Right. Throat is the entry point, but the effect is more in the, further down, right?
Yes, the more vital effects will happen in the lungs, because lungs are very sensitive, and it has a lot of these ACE receptacles in the alveoli regions.
Yeah.
But
So
virus will be there in the throat.
So if we can contain while it is in the throat, so that will be, that will be the option, right? That's how I think the quarantine centers are doing this, ne?
Yes.
The hospital can treatments for the throat.
Yes, we can't treat the throat separately. They will give mostly they will give like steroid drugs to boost the immune system, because this is still a virus. We don't have a drug for a virus. The only thing we can do is we can boost the immune system of the defense mechanism of our body. Then the immune system will attack, and it will destroy the virus itself.
Yeah. And that's why they say drink hot water, hot drinks, kottamalli, etc., because while it is in throat, that would help somewhat, right?
Yes, of course. As long as you drink something hot, there's a big possibility of killing some amount of virus in your throat. But it doesn't guarantee that you kill all the viruses.
Yeah.
Because it can go up your nose as well, because you can't drink your nose.
Okay. So next one is a statement which is linked to the previous question where it talks about September 2019 in Italy. Now this person says IET magazine in November 2019. We have this magazine which comes every month, I think. November 2019 issue has highlighted this type of pandemic and discuss in detail page 30. So which means November 2019 IET magazine has mentioned about this.
Yes.
So there could be
no, it's like this. This pandemic was well predicted, actually. Even in I have heard a speech from President Bush. This was way before even Obama regime. President Bush talking about airborne virus going through the world. What is the defense mechanism that we have as a country if something like this happens? So this is well known. The airborne pandemic is going to go on through the world. It's going to be a pandemic, and what are we going to do about this? But nobody have predicted it will be this massive, this fast. So that is the only problem. So even in Sri Lanka, we have this some institute who are working with these sort of like pandemic situations, not pandemic centers, but some institute who are dedicated to finding out diseases, finding out isolating patients. They are well equipped and well acknowledged of all these methods and systems as well. So the knowledge was there. The only thing is it hasn't gone to practice. So now it's going into practice. That's the thing.
Yeah, because there were no patients, right? The information was there and predictions were there, but there were no patients until in December.
Yes, then there have been swine flu, bird flu, So all these things are potential pandemic viruses, but
Yeah.
the real virus which have broken through is COVID. So that's why.
Okay. So this is the last question. What is the supporting pH range for COVID-19?
pH range, I haven't seen any specifics on these, like COVID surviving pH uh, test, but I'm pretty sure if you can refer the World Health Organization website, it has a well descriptive like viral analogies, viral test, and like so many papers published by doctors, like well versed papers, well acknowledged papers published by doctors about these tests. I think since the virus is very fragile, it can't even tolerate soap. So I think it should be within from 4 to 8 region of the pH scale, but I'm not sure about the number. You can always refer the World Health Organization website to get this number correct, because the as I like to stress the fact that the research are still going on, the virus is still changing, it's not settled still, so these numbers can change with time.
Okay. Sorry, there were two other questions while I was reading the previous question. Next one is antigen and antibody are two different tests. He's asking whether they are two different tests, antigen and antibody.
Yes, antigen and antibody can be two different tests because antigen is it will trace the genetic identity of the antibody itself, and but the antibody test is it will check the protein excreted when the antibody is generated and antibodies in your body. It will test the protein, not the genetic material. So I'm not so sure about the biochemistry of that part, but
Right.
from the thing from the little knowledge that I have is it's that's how you can like differentiate antigen and antibody.
Right. And the last question is, does steam inhaling effective at least for some extent?
Of course, it is effective up to some extent, but you can't rely only that. If you think that you have COVID symptoms, please don't rely on like steaming or drinking hot water. You have to seek medical attention. But as a preventive measure, you can do steaming, you can drink hot water, you can do all that. You can drink kottamalli, which is a really good thing that we have as Sri Lankans. It will boost your immunity and it will give like a hot bath to your throat as well. So it is effective, but it don't rely on that if you are in doubt.
Okay. And there was a compliment at last. I must thank Sajita for explaining medical theories in engineering terms, which are understandable to us. It's amazing. So thank you very much. So I must also thank Engineer Sajita for actually explaining COVID-19 pandemic in a very simplistic way, and we came to know the inside of COVID-19, which was confined to doctors so far. Now we also know how it happens and what it is actually is. So thank you very much, and thank you for accepting our invitation. Once again, thanks Vindhya for introducing Sajita to IET, and as I said, please encourage him to become IET member so that we can get his services in future for IET work. So
it will happen right away.
thank you very much. And I thank all the participants for surviving until now. It's 8:48. We started at 6:45. And Thank you very much, everyone, and my colleagues, IETXCO members who are still there. Thank you very much. And so it's late now, so we can call it a day. And I hope also please give my regards to Vijit and Lasantha Jayawardena at DEMO. And then good night to everyone.
Yeah, good night to everyone, and thank you for the opportunity. And I would like to, I would love to actually work with IET in the near future.
Yeah. Being an electrical and electronics engineer, you must become a member, because as you know, IET was previously IEEE, Institution of Electrical Engineers.
Yes.
So most of our members are electrical background. So it's a good platform for you to work with us.
Yes.
And we would like to have the private sector input for the committee.
Yes, of course.
Right. So thank you very much once again. We'll see you again in another evening forum or webinar like this.
Yes, sir.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sajid.
Welcome.